Good morning and welcome to Rose Red Homestead's Micro Moment Monday, where today we are going to talk about how to find space in our homes for our food storage. That has actually been a concept that I have grappled with ever since I married for the first time and left my parents' home. I have lived with my first husband and now Jim in various situations, including apartments, small homes, and then larger homes. And it didn't matter where we lived. We always had to struggle to find space for our food storage. So today I'm going to share with you a little bit about what I have done over the years with food storage. And then I have also done some research and found some quite good articles, 5 of them. And I'm going to put those links in the description of the video so that you can click on those and get even more ideas. We're going to hit some highlights to some of the things suggested by those articles. And then we're going to take just a short tour around our home and show you some of the things that we have done and some of the things that we still want to do in terms of adding more storage to the place where we live, particularly for our food storage. First of all, looking for storage space in an existing dwelling takes a different mindset. We are so used to when we look around our rooms in our homes, we see our things. When what we are really looking for is, where are the spaces? Where are the empty spaces? Is there empty wall space? Is there vertical space someplace? Is there space behind doors? Is there extra room in closets? And we may think that we have already done that to the best possible extent, but I want to tell you just a little bit of a story. A number of years ago, when I was a professor at a different university, I wrote a big grant which was funded to take teachers into the various locations and work with them on science inquiry that they could then take right into their classrooms. Well, I hired professors from that university in the science areas to be part of my staff. And one of those professors was the director of the Life Science Museum, who himself was a world-class lichenologist. Lichen, as you may know, is that organism that grows on rocks. And it spreads, it looks just like a little covering. It's brown, it's green, it can be orange, it can be vibrant yellow. And lichen is everywhere. Some of it is a little bit leafy, others just looks like it's been smeared like frosting on the top of a rock. Well, he has been around the world studying lichen. And on one of his world trips, he visited a country and an ecological preserve where he became friends with the director of that preserve, and he asked if he could do a walkabout on the property to see what varieties of lichen were there. And the director said, "Oh, there's no lichen here. We don't have any lichen. I'm sorry to disappoint you, but there's just none out there." My friend and colleague Larry said, "Well, how about if we just take a walk and see what we can find?" Well, as they walked around that property, Larry found over 200 varieties of lichen, and 2 or 3 of those were brand new, had never been described in the literature before. And he shared that story with our teachers on one of our trips, and one of the things that he said was, "We see what we know, and a lot of times we don't see what we are not familiar with." And so we are so familiar with seeing our stuff scattered everywhere that what we're not familiar with is seeing the spaces that may still be available in our home. As a newlywed and in a very small apartment, my brand new husband and I wanted to start right away on food storage. And we were very poor, even though at that time gas was 17 cents a gallon and you could get hamburger 5 pounds for $1. Boy, are those days gone. But we bought, after we had saved for several weeks, 2 100-pound barrels of wheat. And those barrels were about this big around and about, 2.5, 3 feet tall. And we put them in our living room, and boy, were they ugly. My husband cut out 2 rounds of plywood and put them over the barrels. They were just a little bit wider than the barrels were. And I made tablecloths for both of those that went clear to the floor. And they looked like end tables. We put lamps on them, we put books, a little bit of decor that we had. It was a hidden place where we had that wheat. And we have tried to be creative in putting food storage where we could in every place since then. Here are some ideas for the articles. Then we're going to walk around and I'm going to show you a couple of things in our home. First of all, you have space under tables. We have a dining room table with 6 chairs, and there's space under that table where we could stack some things in the very middle that would not interfere with people's feet, and really it would be hidden with the chairs in front. We have a table in our back library under which I store our sun oven and a big telescope with 2 chairs pushed up against the edge of the table. Nobody sees those things under there. If you happen to have a grand piano with space under the grand piano, you could put things under there as well. And while we may not want to stack our canned goods under a grand piano, what we can do is use containers like fun little woven baskets that are shaped these days to look just like drawers. Or I have one that's just very tall, and it's a coil basket that just is tall and deep. And we can use those decor pieces that have empty space inside to store some of our food storage there. Here are some other quick ideas. As you look around your home and you see empty spaces, you'll see empty spaces above cabinets. Right up here are empty spaces. And I have things stashed up there that you can't see in low, flat boxes. Areas above doors where you can build shelves above those doors, way out of people's people are not going to bump their head on a shelf that is up above a door. And then on the back side of doors, this is our pantry door right here. When I open that door, there is 12 inches of space between the back side of the door when that door is closed and where the shelves begin. All of this vertical space in front of the shelves. They make vertical shelving that hangs over doors. We could, if we wanted to, hang a vertical shelf on the back side of that pantry door that could hold a whole lot of canned goods. Watch for vertical space. Also, under bed space is prime space for, and because it's out of sight, that's where you can hide low flat boxes of canned goods or cases of water. In your closet, where is the extra space? You're going to say, my closet is jammed. Well, is it really? You have the floor, and you have your shoes, and then you have your hanging clothes. Is there space between the bottom of your clothes and where your shoes are? Even a foot of space? If you reorganized your clothes to have all the longer clothes on one side and all the shirts or trousers hanging to where you had some space between your shoes and the bottom of the clothes, you can elevate those shoes on top of cases of water. Buy cases of water, put a towel down, and then put your shoes on top to make every inch of space count. Or you could do boxes of canned goods and do the very same thing. How many of us have suitcases stashed away somewhere, waiting for that next trip? Are those suitcases empty? Mine certainly are. Perfect place for storing canned goods or other foodstuffs there. And these baskets that I was talking about, the woven baskets, and shop at the dollar store. Look for containers like these woven baskets, or sometimes they're even in plastic, and some of them are very decorative and beautiful. And you can stack those baskets up on top of existing shelving or in deep windowsills where you can also have those baskets full of your food storage. Use bookcases. Rearrange your books so that you have spaces where you can fit some of those baskets and you can pull them out and there's some of your food storage. Also, empty drawers, dresser drawers. My mother loved shopping at secondhand stores and bought lots of pieces of furniture. We have in our back library a chest on chest that came from, after she passed away, from one of the bedrooms in their home, and it has 6 drawers in it. Well, I haven't filled those drawers up with what it was intended. It was intended for a bedroom for clothing, and we have all kinds of other things in those drawers. You can pull out a drawer and you can have canned goods set on their side so that they roll, and you can tip the drawer down and you can put the new ones in the back and take from the front and have a rolling first in, first out type of a situation. And then there is great use of corners. I'm going to show you some of the things that we have just had done to our home and a couple of things that we want to have done going forward. We have lived in this home coming up on 13 years. For that entire time, our closets are crammed. Every cupboard is filled. We were out of storage space and have been for several years, and I have just been aching to get more storage. And so I walked around the house and looked for space that was not being used very efficiently. This space is our little dining area, our breakfast area. And behind it, I had one small cabinet. I had a picture on the wall, and then empty wall space. I have dreamed of this cabinet for 12 years. And with our recent kitchen remodel, we had this big storage piece put in. This will ultimately have doors on it. You can see the blue tape where this is noting to our cabinet maker that things need to be fixed. Notice all of my canning supplies are here, instead of stacked on the dining room table or stacked on the pass-through. This area is a bay window, but it's a very shallow bay window, and the space was virtually wasted space. We did have a very small, tall bar-like table in wrought iron with a small glass top and two chairs on either side. We never used it. I used the tabletop for growing plants, but it was small. And so I wanted this space redone for much better storage. And I specified how tall I wanted the shelves so they would fit these containers that I use all the time. So you can see that this really holds a lot of our food storage that I use on a daily basis right here. And I have not yet decided whether I want doors on this cabinet. Right now we're holding off on the doors. This is one place where we have used wasted space and turned it into a really great storage area. And I've waited a long time for this. I've wanted this in place for almost since we moved into this house, recognizing that this was wasted space. Then there's one little last place I want to show you. This is the doorway between our kitchen and our library. My desk is over in that corner. This door stays open 99% of the time. So let's take a look at this door. Look at it. For quite a few years, we had quite a large telescope, and I put the telescope behind this door, and the door stuck out to about right here with a telescope behind it, still well out of the way of traffic. But look behind it. We have this corner. Now, in a couple of years, when we are ready to have painting and wall-to-wall bookcases put in here, we have to recover from the kitchen for a while first. This would be a perfect space to add a little shelving unit. And it could be an over-the-door shelf that I talked about, or it could be a custom shelf that would be in triangular shape right here with a lot of little shelves here, and then I could store a lot of our food storage there, and it would be for most of the time completely out of sight. There are dozens more ideas in the articles that I have linked at the bottom of this video, so check those out. But when you look at those articles, they are not designed for food storage. They are just general storage. As you look at them in your mind, you need to convert over to the idea, would this work for a food storage idea? I hope these ideas have been helpful, and we hope that we can all find adequate space. And we have a lot of space for our food storage that is not ideal. But you know what? It is the only thing that we can do, and so we do it. The alternative is not to do it. We're not going to do that alternative. So happy storing, and we will see you next Monday with another micro moment.